is a 50 is like a gamble. What if the person doesn't bring the money back? You will get sad. Hey, this thing can throw you into all shades of depression, you know. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Wenam, and on this channel, one of the things I do, the many things I do, is to pick up topics as led by the Holy Spirit and have discussions on them. My very first YouTube video, I shared how I started. I started on this journey of being a YouTuber. It's because people encouraged me to do it from videos I share on my WhatsApp status. And when I started the channel, this video has been highly requested. And guess what? We are going to be talking about money. Now, money is large, it's a huge field. Which part of money or which aspect are we going to be talking about today? We are going to talk about debt, loans, in terms of borrower-lender relationship. And I believe this is going to be quite educative. So join me and let's do justice to this topic. All right, so I saw somebody posted something on her WhatsApp status about how somebody owed her money. And when she asked for the money, the person was very rude and, she was trying to make her feel bad for asking for her own money. And when I reshared the story, a lot of people came out to share similar experiences. So I thought, let me do a video on this and share so that we can all learn from each other. Now, in life, people go through stuff. And at some point, some people do need help. And that is when they tend to borrow to help them through whatever it is they are going through. And it's not a bad thing. I have borrowed at some point in my life. I'm sure you have as well. And so a disclaimer here, I'm not saying borrowing is bad or anything of that sort. However, as we grow, there are certain principles and things that we are supposed to be conscious of, because there's a price to be paid for greatness. And if you're unwilling to pay that price, then greatness will elude you. Because if greatness is such a cheap commodity, how come not everyone is great? How come not everyone is successful? Okay, so it's only for people that are willing to pay the price. The first thing I learned very early in life about this whole subject of borrowing is, I think it was Bishop David Oyedepo, in one of his books, he wrote about it. He said, if you have to borrow to live, then you are living outside your means. If you have to borrow to live, then you are living out of your means. And I thought, wow. Okay, so just a quick disclaimer here again. I'm not talking about borrowing to invest into a business or whatnot. I'm talking about borrowing for everyday living, say to eat, to buy stuff and all of that. That's what I'm talking about, okay? So when he said that, it printed an indelible mark in my spirit, and I thought, wow, this is a great thought, because people make 100 cedis as their monthly wage and they are living. People make 1,000. Those people are still alive. People make 10,000. People are making 100. People are making 1,000,000 cedis. They are all alive. So what is the difference? Is because the person who makes 100 cedis knows that this is what I make. So these are the things I can afford and these are the things I cannot afford. The same applies to all the categories I mentioned. You understand? So the first point of call as people want to level up or become great, is to be true to yourself about what you can afford and what you cannot afford. Because then that will help you to reduce the rate at which you have to borrow to live. Okay, so if you make 100 cedis, you know that, okay, this is 100 cedis. These are the things I can afford and these are the things I cannot afford. You see, so then it helps you cut down on the rates at which you would have to borrow. Okay, now, in fact, I wrote it down in the book, so I'm referring it. Another thing is also to create an emergency fund. Now, personally, I've not been doing so great in this regard, but I know it's something that everyone needs to do. So I'm still going to talk about it anyways and remind myself that, hey, and now it's time to start building or improving that emergency fund. Emergency fund is extremely critical. No matter how much you make, there's a percentage that should go in for emergency. You would never know, and life can be unpredictable to a large extent. So emergency funds are very critical so that when you need that, you can quickly go in there, pick it up, and then you have a plan on how to keep the emergency fund growing. You understand? Good. So the third thing about borrowing is that I'm a Christian, so I cannot do without my biblical principles. The Bible makes us understand, and this goes especially to people that borrow and have a problem paying back. The Bible makes us understand that it is more blessed to give than to receive. It is more blessed to give than to receive. What that means is that there's blessing both in giving and both in receiving. So the person lending you the money is going to be blessed. You that you have received and you have borrowed the money, there's a blessing in there for you. Okay, so how come some people receive the money and the lenders end up cursing them? Because of the attitude. Okay, so there should be an attitude of borrowing. You borrow money and you say, oh, I'm going to pay in so amount of time. You keep to your word. If for any reason that cannot be possible, you communicate. And I believe in communication. You don't expect people to read your mind. You see? So you communicated. In that way, the blessing that comes with it and whatever you took the money to do would be fruitful. But if you put yourself in a position where you take whatever it is from the person and now you tend to make the person feel bad or you try to play the victim, the person who gave the money will say things that would cause whatever you take to become useless or fruitless, if I'm allowed to put it that way. All right. So that is it. Also, the Bible makes us understand that we, the children of God, who are heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ, we, those who are descendants of Abraham, we will lend to many nations, but we will not borrow. We will lend to many nations, but we will not borrow. So, as we are here trying to create ourselves or build ourselves to become great people, successful people, people that have leveled up, we should always know that once you are the borrowing end, it's less of greatness. We would rather want to be on the lending end, somebody who is rather giving it out than somebody who is receiving. And I believe if people have that mindset, it will really reduce the rates at which people go about, borrowing stuff, for the fun. Some people, it has even become a habit, okay? But the Bible is letting us know that as a child of promise, or as children of promise, we are supposed to be doing the lending out more than the borrowing. So if you understand this and you even borrow, there will be an urgency in your spirit to repay, and you wouldn't have to wait for the person to ask you, and then you end up making the person feel bad for asking for her money. All right. So we would lend to many nations and we will not borrow. So what I would want to say about those who borrow and do not want to pay back or has become a habit. These are because a lot of people I have experienced this personally. And so now I'm going to talk about those who lend out the money too. I've had to borrow money at some point in my life. I am not saying if you borrow money, hey, you are this, or I've not borrowed before in my life. That is not the point of discussion. The point is we want to get somewhere. That is why you're watching this video. You want to be a better person. And so this information is something you can work with, and so that you can become a better person. Now, to those who lend out the money, I said that there's more blessing in giving than in receiving. So as you're lending out the money, it's supposed to be from your heart so that the blessing that comes with it would be appropriated to you. But if you do that, and it's not out of your heart, then you know that you're not going to get the blessing first of all. All right. Second of all, what I ask myself when somebody asks me to borrow money, to preserve my peace, to have my peace of mind, is to ask myself, this money that this person is asking for, or this thing that the person is asking for, or money, and it's usually money, is it something I can afford to lose? All right. If you ask yourself that question and you answer it genuinely, and you know that, oh, this person is asking me for 1,000 cedis, and right now I can afford to lose 1,000 cedis, sister, brother, absolutely go ahead and give that money out, because it is a 50, it's like a gamble. What if the person doesn't bring the money back? You will get sad. Hey, this thing can throw you into all shades of depression, So I discovered that principle and I'm sharing with you. Just ask yourself, this 50 cedis the person is asking right now, can I afford to lose 50 cedis? If you can afford to lose 50 cedis, give it to the person. The person brings it back, fine. If the person doesn't bring it back, fine. At the end of the day, your peace of mind is assured. But if you know that at that point in your life, this is not money I can afford to lose, you do not have the money. And I know sometimes those who even come off a bit entitled. It's like, do you mean that you don't have 100 cedis? I mean, you are borrowing 100 cedis. You don't have it. So why are you surprised the other person doesn't have 100 cedis? Do you understand what I mean? Yes. It doesn't mean the person does not have the money. It might just mean that I cannot afford to lose that out of my budget right now. And if you do that, you save yourself off this trouble of people lending and not repaying. You will not have any issue. And then you would have the blessing at the end of the day. All right? Okay, so that ends our video for today. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned something. Let me know your lending experience. Let me know about it in the comment section. And let me know how you were able to handle situations where people borrowed money from you and did not pay back, and what you did and what you learned from the entire experience. All right, until next time, I'll see you. Bye.